Hey, come on in.
What are you gonna do in the next couple months, huh?
Jeez, that's a good
Or,
question.
like your life, just
Um,
life in general.
Right. So, before I answer that,
What's your plan?
welcome to one on one,
Welcome to one-on-one
the direct rival of 1 Minute Podcast,
1 minute
talk show.
Cutie intro.
Angry with names.
Cutie intro.
So yeah,
Yeah.
man, next month of my life, huh?
Yeah. Next couple months.
Next couple. Let's talk years, dude. Come on, if we're going big, let's go big or go.
Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
Dead.
Good plan.
Did you see the image of the kid that's like, what'll happen after you leave high school? And he's like, I die. It's like, you're not wrong.
What are you talking
Because eventually, after you leave high school, you will die. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing in the next month or two. Well, as I said in the last one-on-one, we're planning on moving from where we are right now, which is in the near... Would it be accurate to say this is near Campbell?
Well, we're in a spot which is weird.
Yeah.
Because we're in San Jose, right next to Campbell, right next to Saratoga.
Yeah.
So we're
We're in the
surrounded-
tri-state area.
We're in the tri-state area. We don't have a Doofenshmirtz.
No.
It's not that tri-state.
No.
We have a Bloopendurp.
Yeah, Gloopenderp. He's actually from Smikolokia.
He's not that evil, actually. He's a nice guy.
No, he's an ice cream salesman. He's kind of nice. But my point is,
By,
we're moving out of our area right now, which is all right, but it's been lived in, and it's time to move on. Also, the rent's gonna go up, and it's gonna be a shithole. So we're moving, but we don't know where we're moving yet, because my dad can't decide,
Yeah.
and it's not easy to get real estate in California.
Of course not.
Yeah, especially because he's considering buying.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's no good. We saw some non-mobile mobile homes a while ago.
Yeah.
Some of them were all right. The big problem with me is the area around them is not great. There's either just stores, which are just for food,
Yeah.
that cater to the businesses around them. So there's businesses. The area that we found would be near Great America, but I don't like roller coasters or Great America that much.
Yeah.
I'm weird. I'm weird. I don't like stuff most people like. But my point is we haven't decided where. So that's going to be a big thing. Also cutting down on all the shit I have.
Yeah.
I've been trying to sell my Magic cards for 2 years. And I finally found someone who I can sell them to, but now they're busy. When I was busy, we couldn't do it, and now he's busy, so we can't sell it to him. So I think I'm just going to give them to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
But I really want to make some profit off it because I have some nice cards in there. Also, all the shit that I have.
Yeah.
I mean, my room's a fucking mess right now. A, because I've been coughing my lungs out and focusing on homework, so I don't have time to clean.
Yeah.
And B, because I have so much shit that I've been going through to try and lower it down. Plus, I just got a bunch of books from my dad that he decided he didn't want, including a ton of Calvin and Hobbes. Did you read Calvin and Hobbes when you were a kid?
Of course.
Calvin and Hobbes is classic.
I always go to the library and check out just
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking old comics.
The libraries in Chicago are surprisingly nice.
Yeah.
Like, they're really nice. There was one that we went to all the time that was this giant thing and had gargoyles on the top and had these cool art installations with water.
Yeah.
And I always remember that the winding staircases and it seemed like it was like a vault.
Damn.
Right? With some sections that I now know that I could have just gone to.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like, I can't go there. Right? Because it just seemed so secure.
Yeah.
Right? The outside was kind of rustic in the old Chicago architecture way.
Yeah.
The inside was pristinely very. Have you played Halo 4?
I think so.
In Halo 4, the aliens in that game, not the Covenant, but the other ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
The Promethean or
The
whatever.
Prometheans. Yeah, their bases, a low budget, not really low budget, but for aliens, a low budget version of that.
Yeah.
So still really cool, but with less lights.
Yeah.
Right? It was that kind of architecture.
Yeah.
With a bunch of lion
Bunch
fountains
of
and stuff.
aliens.
Yeah. Fuck.
Man, I used to go to the library all the fucking time.
Yeah, we don't I don't read that much anymore.
I I read all the time, but it's for school.
Yeah, I don't have to anymore, really. I picked up reading a little bit. I started reading a book that I got from my dad called The Dilbert Principle,
Yeah.
which is really silly, but I lent it to a teacher and sort of said that if she liked it, she could keep it because I don't care that much. But I have a ton of books because my problem is I don't like rereading stuff. Like rewatching movies, rereading things. The only thing I like seeing or what's the fucking word? Experiencing multiple times in a media format is music.
Yeah.
I can listen to music nonstop.
Yeah, I can't.
But like I can't rewatch movies.
I can't do that with movies. I can't rewatch movies. Books, I can totally fucking read a book.
I can reread some books, but it has to be like a couple years apart when I read it.
Yeah.
Like the one book that I was able to reread on a good basis was a Greek mythology book that I had, and I read it every summer. Every summer, the same fucking book.
Every summer. Okay, I thought you meant like something you read, like, I don't know.
What, daily?
Because I did a book I reread multiple times like crazy. It was Stephen King's It. I read that like a couple of times over the summer.
Fucking love Stevie K, huh?
I mean, have you seen that book though? It's a fucking Bible.
Yeah, it is gigantic. Like, what the fuck?
I reread it multiple times over a summer.
Well, I mean, the
A single summer.
Hold on, let me see if I have that book that I'm talking about.
But yeah,
I might.
I just don't read for like enjoyment a whole lot anymore. Like you know, for school I get assigned books, and for the most part I like them because just they're good books most of the time. And it's like I'm like, oh, this was nice, but you don't get the same level of enjoyment as you would as just going to the library and picking out a book and just reading it.
Yeah.
Because you're just sort of like, this is work. You know?
Yeah. I can't find it.
You can't find it.
No, I can't find it. I don't think I have it anymore. But speaking of books, we were talking about books in the Uber that we took back from our. Do you think the video will be posted by now?
Maybe.
On the Uber we took back from our the boys go to the zoo trip, or whatever we're gonna end up calling it.
Sure.
And we talked about books and stuff there. I used to read a lot.
Yeah.
And actually I have a family friend who's a writer. Her name is Helen Stringer, and she wrote. I just read the title. I'm gonna go back and look at it. It's a story about a girl named Belladonna, and it's this really cool. It's called Spellbinder. Spellbinder. It's a really good book. I've actually read it twice, and that's a lot coming from me where I don't reread shit. Sorry, I'm still yelling, but yeah, I read that. That's a good book if you're looking for a good read. That and the Artemis Fowl series.
That's a good one too.
So good. I recently, my dad gave me a couple Artemis Fowl books that I stole from him.
Yeah.
And then there's one called The Alchemist, which is not the boring version that you get in school. It's one called Nicholas Flamel Alchemist. What is it? I really need to learn the proper titles of shit. It's The Alchemist, The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel. That's a good series. That's about twins.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a scientific essay.
Yeah, it's a scientific series of essays on twins. Siamese twins, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, no. And I just got a bunch of books, like I said last time, from my dad, which I need to figure out how I'm going to fucking store those.
So far, I think the peak of when I read a ton of books for enjoyment was middle school.
Middle school?
Elementary,
I agree.
I did not read a whole lot. Middle school, I would go to the school library, the public library, all the fucking time.
Yeah, I guess technically it's my elementary school.
Yeah.
That I read a ton. Did I tell you this, the book story?
No.
Okay, in Chicago, I was very much, all my best stories come from Chicago.
Yeah. Yes, I already know this is going to be.
Yeah, in Chicago, I was very much a bookworm, right? I didn't talk to people.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I had two friends, and they were really good, and I hung out with them every day. But they weren't in all my classes. Mm-hmm. And if I wasn't in a class with them, I just read. Yeah. During lessons. I did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because I'm still sort of this way, but if I don't care about something, I don't care about it. I could give two fucks about what happens in whatever is going on. If you're trying to teach me something and I don't care about it, good luck.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was in a math class, obviously, which is my least favorite subject as a kid.
Yeah.
And back then we used to have, we would switch classrooms sometimes, but generally we would have like most of our classes in the same classroom or the same two classrooms. And the school had a library, which was obviously where I went all the time. And so I checked out like a ton of books, and I was horrible about returning them. And I think until the move, I still had one that was way late, but there was no penalties, so it was fine.
There was no penalties?
No penalties for a late book. It was just getting it back and getting bothered by it. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Chicago's weird. But the point is,
God,
since we had the same room, we had the same desk.
Yeah.
Right? So we would just keep all our shit in our desk
Yeah.
or our locker or whatever, right? And it was horrible at using lockers, so I just shoved shit in my desk. Want to guess how many books were in my desk?
Oh, man.
So many.
I thought you were going to give me a number.
Like 10. All of varying thicknesses.
Wow, 10.
Like, but these were small desks.
Yeah.
Right? So I was, like, imagine the desk where you used to be able to shove shit into it, right?
Mhm.
My desk was chock full of books.
Yeah.
Like, full, like, you had to squish some to get some out,
Yeah.
right? So one time in class, I was, of course, ignoring what was going on and reading a book, right? But I was taught to be polite, right? So if a teacher tells me to do something, right, or tells me to stop something, I will stop, right? So a teacher was walking by my desk. I was reading, not doing the work,
Yeah.
right? He comes over, politely closes my book, right, and takes it, right? And I look up, and me being the kid I am, I'm like, oh, okay. You took my book. You didn't want me to read that book. So I pull out a different book, right? All of these books I was reading simultaneously.
Yeah.
I was at different sections in each part, and somehow I remembered where I was in all of them,
Yeah.
right? So I started reading a different book. He makes his way around the room, sees that I've gotten a different book, comes over and takes that book,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit. And so I grab another book, right? This third time, he sees me take
Yeah.
the book out,
Yeah.
right? And so he just puts out his hand. He stops the lesson. He puts out his
Yeah.
hand. I give him the book. As he's looking at me, I take another book out of my desk, right? And I begin to read it, and he takes it right away, right? And so I get another book out of my desk, and he takes it away, and then he pushes me like lightly out of the way,
Yeah.
and just starts taking all of the books out of my desk and puts them on his table.
That's fucking
And then I reach into my backpack and pull out another book. And then I was sent
I
to
mean,
the principal.
I can just imagine you like, oh, he doesn't like any of these books. huh?"
Yeah. Like, no, but I sort of knew that he really didn't want me to read.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to read. And so I was just getting more books out.
Oh my
Like, I wasn't, like, protesting. I never stopped him taking my book.
Yeah.
I let him take the book and then grabbed a different book.
Yeah.
I just think that was sort of
That's
it's
fucking
it's
hilarious.
nearly as funny as my pee story.
Have you told the
Nearly
pee
as funny.
story?
I definitely have told the pee story. Let me know in the comments if I haven't, and then I will.
Okay.
But
well.
if I've told it, I don't want to tell it again. It's so dumb.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
So I was very much a bookworm. My point is, back then I didn't reread any books.
Yeah.
That was when I read Hunger Games for the first time and all that
Yeah.
sort of shit. I actually didn't like Hunger Games that much.
I never read them.
I read the first two books and then stopped. It was the same with Aragon.
Yeah.
I read the first book and didn't want to read anymore.
You know what? It's funny now that I think about it, right? So in the same way that I don't listen to like mainstream music a whole lot,
Yeah.
I never read mainstream books a whole lot.
Yeah?
Hunger Games, Aragon, Harry Potter.
You never read Harry Potter.
Name me some more books.
Have you seen Harry Potter?
I've seen some Harry Potter movies. Yes.
Have you not seen all of them?
I don't think I've seen the entire
We
thing.
need to watch all of them.
Tell me some more like super like mainstream books.
Apparently everyone read like To Kill a Mockingbird early
Yep,
on
and I read that just like
recently.
for school.
Alright, what about Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
I read that. Oh, I read like
Everyone
the
read that.
first couple. You know.
Goosebumps.
I read a few.
Captain Underpants.
Read
I know you've
a
read
few,
that.
Yeah,
Captain Underpants was good.
that's just fun.
So my teacher is a blank, or the janitor is a blank,
Nope.
or you never saw those? Didn't I like
I know what
show
they
you
are,
one of the
but I
books
never read
recently? All right. What about
Junie V whatever. Never read any of those.
Junie? What?
You know the girl. She's a redhead.
Are you talking about the girl who's a detective?
No.
Did you read any of
that
those?
one? But no.
Okay.
Is it Nancy Drew? Is that what it was?
Nancy Drew, yeah, that's
They
it.
ran into those.
I didn't
one with
actually. I read one Nancy
The one with
Drew.
the fucking mouse on the Geronimo one, and they're like, there's like a,
The fuck?
yeah, it's like fucking, it's a cartoon rat
The
or
fuck are
mouse
you
guy, and
talking
he's a
about?
detective, and he does shit. Never read into
Don't
those.
know about that. To be
Uh,
fair, I just read everything, so it's hard to remember what normal people read.
I just remember snippets of random books. I cannot remember
Did you
the
read
titles that I would read. It was just fucking like nobody fucking knew.
Did you read To Give a Mouse a Cookie?
I was read.
What's the
they,
one with
they
the
read
moose?
it to me.
What's the one with the moose?
If they gave a moose a stripper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what am I've never heard a moose like make a noise. What does a moose sound like? Because that was a cow that I did. I just realized.
It goes meese.
He goes me.
If you give a moose a
You
stripper.
ever read any like manga when you were a kid?
What?
Manga. You know.
I read the Pokemon mangas.
Origins? The
Like
Pokemon
the-
Origins, or like the Pokemon like the like Adventure to the Cinnabar Isles, like those books, like the small pamphlet like books.
No.
The
Like
skinny
the
ass
actual
ones?
fucking manga books.
You talking about Pokemon Origins?
I don't. It's not called Origins. It's just called Pokemon manga.
All right.
Red.
whatever.
That's the first one,
Okay.
which is the Gen 1 one. And I
Yeah.
read. Well, my libraries never had like the full series, so I would just read.
Right? That
Parts
was the
of it.
fucking most annoying
And that's
shit
just with mangas.
in the world. Just with mangas?
Just with mangas.
Our school
I've
library
never-
doesn't have a
I've
like.
never
It used to have more manga, but somehow they're like gone.
really.
I think they like removed manga. Now they just have the same one and it never updates.
Did you realize that we? Okay, listen.
I used to read out of the school library.
we go
at
to
our
the
school.
library at our school, right? I don't think I've ever checked out a book.
I read some of the books, but
Never
after
checked that out.
after sophomore year, I didn't check out.
I
any.
go into the library and I'm like, in my mind, sort of like, this is not a library.
No, it's because
it's just a place.
it with the previous librarian, it
Yeah.
still felt like a library,
Yeah.
but with this new librarian, like it does not.
At middle
It feels
school,
like
you remember the
a queue.
yeah, you remember the middle school library? That was a nice library. It was upstairs.
Yes.
You would go up.
Oh my god, I love that.
That's what
I
I
like
love.
never went there though.
I loved going upstairs.
I never went there, but I saw it. Like I've been in there.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I like to publicly apologize to that library because I spit in a book once.
What the fuck? Did you really spit in a book?
We've talked about this.
No, we've not. You did not tell me you spit in a book. You've told me that you mistreat books and you don't give a fuck because they're your book.
Yeah.
That you put it down with the fucking pages open and it ruins the goddamn spine.
Yeah, but
you
it
didn't
doesn't
say
fucking
shit about
matter.
spitting in a
It doesn't
book.
matter if. Okay, hold on.
No one hawks
Stop,
a
hold
movie in a
on.
library.
Stop fucking talking about how I treat my books. Because guess what? They're meant to get all fucked up. They're books, alright? Jesus Christ.
The
You see the fucking library
when
books?
the
They're all
man-
fucked up. Anyways.
When someone invented a book,
I
they
cannot.
did not go
hey,
like, I can't wait for this to get torn up.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Yeah, but because my books aren't fucking torn up, right?
I know
See
you're
my
right.
stack of books? They're not fucking torn up. I'll mistreat them, but they're not torn. They're not ripped. You can still read them. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I spat into a book once in fucking middle school.
What?
I don't even know what book.
Why?
I don't even remember like what. It's like 6th, 7th, or 8th.
What was going through your mind?
I was with a group of friends.
And you thought it'd be funny?
And I think
I mean, it is.
I think
It's hilarious.
It was either there or they were like, "Hey, do something fucking stupid," you know. So it was one of those two.
All right.
And
all
I was
right,
like,
important question.
"I got this." Grabbed the book, bam,
Okay,
closed
so
it.
it was a loogie.
put it back.
That was my question. Did you hawk a loogie, or did you like let it dribble out your mouth and pour onto the book?
I mean, I just spat into it. It wasn't really much of a loogie.
Oh, okay.
I just
It
kinda
was just a.
You know.
Yeah.
There was no real buildup.
Yeah.
It was just saliva.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, that's
Why would you spit into a book? Like, I'd never spit into a book, but that's so funny. I wish I was there to see it. I would be angrier in person, but I really want to have
It's a
seen that.
library. We could do it.
No, we're not gonna recreate that.
Why not?
Do you have a book that you don't care about?
Yeah, we'll grab one of my books. We'll go to a library. I'll spit into my book.
Yeah.
And then put it.
No.
Put it there.
No.
like donation. And
The
then
library here is not bad.
leave- or
in
the
San,
public
in
one?
San Jose, the public library in our area is not bad.
The one right next to the firefighters.
Yeah, fire station.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
I like it. Did you see the fucking giant what was it? Artichoke that they had in front?
I fucking love that.
That
thing.
was so random.
I love that.
What
thing.
the fuck was
You have
that?
no idea. Every single time I fucking pass by,
You
I'd
gotta
be like,
give it a
look
pat.
look at that fucking artichoke, dude. And
Why was it
I'd
there?
climb it. And I'd
You
get on
climbed
top,
it every
I'd
time?
get on top of it, and I'd be like,
I only
this is
climbed it once.
fantastic. I would
We're
climb it all the
such
time.
fucking children.
Because then there was because then you would go inside, and there was just like fucking like leaves that were like in the well, there were chairs, but they were like shaped with leaves. But to me, they just looked like lettuce. E. coli, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, you want some of that?
So I'd sit on them and I'd be like, look at this. I feel like a fucking king. But now that I'm older, whenever I go there, I just sit down in the laptop area, you know, where you can
Yeah,
like,
of course.
plug in your shit and just.
I walk straight to the manga section. Are you kidding me? Have you? Oh!
I
Oh,
love.
that's a book.
I
When
love-
you were a
wait.
kid, did you read the Bones series?
No.
What?
Well, okay. Well, I checked out a book of the Bone series.
Yeah.
And I just went through it. And I was like, because the art style looks cool.
Yeah.
And there was, I think, a girl.
The story is
there
way
was a, there was
darker
a,
than I thought.
There was a
it would
girl
be.
with boobs in it, and I was like, "Ha, look at that!" But I didn't really read it.
Silly lump on chest.
Yeah, you know what I did like in our public library, the one by the fire station, is that like teen center area, that little room.
Yeah, that's the manga.
Yeah,
room.
it's not the manga because there's manga in another part.
Is
of
there?
yeah, it's it's by the
Oh wait, no, I know what you're
it's
talking
by
about.
the
Yeah,
adult
yeah, there's a
computer
difference.
section,
Yeah,
computer
yeah,
center.
Yeah,
You know where old people go in to use a computer.
yeah, to get their rocks off.
And it's got to be quiet. Shh, gotta be quiet. Shh. You gotta, right, there's another little manga thing right
Yeah,
there too.
yeah.
But that teen little room center, I love that thing.
You know,
It's so nice.
Like the
I
first-
remember, like one time I was like, I'm gonna go because I didn't like going in there. Right,
Yeah.
it would make me nervous, especially if there was people there. You know, so I would be like, so this one time I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in there, right? And I went in there and I was like, this is fantastic because there was nobody in there, and I checked out like a bunch of I checked out Pearl Before Swine comics, Simpson comics, and like fucking I don't remember what else.
I never read Simpson comics.
They're funny.
Are they?
They're-
I never watched Simpson either,
just-
but I don't have cable, so it's not like I could.
You should watch The Simpsons. It's like it's a funny shit. It has its
You think
like
so?
fucking. It
You're
has
gonna have
its
to watch
moments.
Simpsons with me.
It has its moments.
I'll watch Simpsons if
That
you
shit.
watch it with me.
Like there's you have no idea. You see clips of Simpsons
Yeah.
and like just imagine that, but like just the entire fucking.
I like how
show.
I've drawn Homer Simpson countless times.
Because he's funny.
Because he's a silly character to draw, but I haven't seen the full Simpsons show. You know what else I haven't watched?
What?
South Park. I don't like South Park.
I don't like South Park.
I tried watching South Park and I didn't like it.
It's very.
I had a cousin who
See,
really liked
it's
South
like-
Park.
I don't get how it's like revered as like this. Very like
Funny.
funny, hilarious show. It's so like
The games are really good.
so in your face, and it's like,
Like-
but when you watch the show, it comes off as that guy in your class that nobody likes.
Yeah.
Because he's very like, fuck you, dude, just get
What
triggered,
I-
bro. That's what I
get,
feel like.
What I get from South Park is they have this underlying humor,
Yeah.
a very childlike humor, which
Yeah.
is the sort of basis of the show, adult childlike humor,
Yeah,
right? And then every episode they pick like an idea
yeah,
and then run with it,
yeah,
and it's always a little too far,
yeah.
right? But that being said, I don't like the show. The games are really fun.
Games are fucking
They're
fun.
hilarious, right?
Played.
Even all the references that I don't get the references,
Yeah.
just because they're all ideas that they just ran with, just referencing them is actually funnier than in my opinion, the episodes that they would have
Stick
come
of
from.
Truth is so fun.
Yeah, and then the ripped butthole,
Yeah.
fractured butthole,
Fractured butthole.
fractured butthole.
Dude, I fucking. You should have seen it. I was watching a Nintendo Direct a while ago, and that's on the Switch. Or it's
What?
It's gonna be on the Switch.
What?
So you can imagine the guy having to say South Park fractured butthole.
Oh, yeah, because the Nintendo,
It's
you know,
fucking hilarious.
duck hunt
Yeah.
instead of duck hunt.
So
And so the coming to Nintendo Switch, South Park's fractured butthole.
yeah, it's coming on the Switch,
Oh my god,
and I'm gonna buy it.
that's crazy.
Um,
Of course you're gonna.
you
buy
played the Nintendo 64 South Park game?
What?
which is also I think on PS1.
No way.
You walk around, it's 3D, and you got snowballs, and there's these. Oh, I can only remember like the first level because I could never get past it, right? Because I just sucked at video games. I just sucked at video games.
It's like adventure, dude.
Yeah. And you would you like I think you start off as Cartman or something.
Fuck yeah, asshole.
And you go collecting your friends to like build a team or whatever. But there's like turkeys running around, and you gotta hit them with snowballs, and you can also. Like I think there's like a powered up snowball, which is just peeing into it and throwing at it. And
that's not bad.
It's not a good game. But,
No.
I mean, I remember it was a plunger gun at one point, and there's a giant turkey you got to fight at the end of that stage thing.
Yeah.
And I never beat it.
Wow.
Because I was like, that's a giant turkey. This is like really hard game, so I didn't try.
You know what else is crazy?
What?
That this is
Yeah.
episode 2 of 1-on-1.
It is. We're almost.
And I believe we're
over,
nearing
yeah.
the end of this.
Yeah, we are.
Nearing the end of this. So I'd just like to say, thank you all for your continued patronage to our channel. It's not like we actually earn any money from this.
Wait, we don't? Oh, I mean, we don't. No.
Thank you for watching as always. Weekly, monthly, yearly, daily, whatever. Please send in more questions. Actually, any questions, because as of now, we have no questions. So we can answer them. Look forward to new episodes coming out. We're probably well into season 2 at this point.
Maybe.
A little into season 2. And, yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, check us out on Twitter and Instagram. Shit in the description. I'm getting tired of saying it.
It's free real estate.